Welcome to Ramatuelle Tropez for the sixth stage of the Global Champions League, our second stop on the dazzling French Riviera. Sunshine style and very competitive show jumping as promised over the next couple of days. If you have ever wanted to combine the luxury and glamour of this area with top sports here in the Global Champions League, this is the opportunity. The Shanghai Swans lead the championship, followed closely by the Cannes Stars, powered by the Iron Dames. But it is Tropez who not only play hosts to the competition, but also come into this week's stage as the winners of the previous stage in Cannes. And that is where we begin today. As the hosts of the competition, the Tropez Pirates, let me welcome Philippe Rosier into the studio to have a conversation. A local French rider in and around the streets of Paris, not very far away, joins us in Tropez. Philippe, welcome to Ramatuelle. You must be very happy to be here today.
Thank you very much.
How do you feel about the week?
It's okay, it's good.
Yeah.
Good. My horse jumped good last week, and the team he win in Cannes has fantastic opportunity for my team. I'm very exciting.
Talk to me about jumping in front of local French people, to be a local man from Paris, to come to Tropez. It must be wonderful to jump here.
Oh yes. For me, it's an opportunity unbelievable for me. First time for the team. Before I ride just individual, and this year I have a Tropez Pirate from Irish guys, Spanish guys, Portuguese guys. It's very funny. It's very funny for me.
We're going to hear from one of those guys, the Portuguese guy, in fact, Ramatuelle, in a few moments' time. But you talk about all the different nationalities in the team. What is the atmosphere like in the Tropez group?
I like this is a good friend first, and it's the team. The team win is a good team for me. Not just a good riders. It's a new experience for me. I'm not young. It's a new experience.
You're a young man, Philippe. It's okay.
No, I have a 62, and it's for me it's a new experience, and I like this experience, and I think today is a new the new team. It's not the same team in Cannes, and why not?
Why not? The team is doing superbly well. He mentioned some of the team members. In fact, let's hear from one of his team members. We took a moment to catch up with fellow Tropez Pirates rider GCL as well.
Yeah, Cannes last week was an amazing weekend for me and for the team, Tropez. I was a bit caught by surprise when I was invited to compete at this tour. And thinking like almost a year later I was winning one of the stages, is pretty, even for me it's pretty impressive, so I'm really happy with that. The team behind the scenes, it's actually we have a really nice atmosphere. We all good friends. I know the Watchman's boys since a couple of years now. Max actually rides one of my old horses, Kilkenny, which was mine, so we knew each other. And then Gregory Kotari was with me on the team last year, and Mariano, I have a very close relation, and I kind of pushed him to get into the team this year. So the atmosphere is very good, the relations are really good, so that makes it quite special as well, because we all know each other quite well. And he changed a few things on horses that we were using on the first round and second round. Mariano suddenly started to ride one horse instead of the other in the rounds, which helped a lot the team. And also I said to this last week, and we had this Watchman factor, which we had Tom in Madrid, and we had our first podium. We have to be happy and hoping that they keep helping us. Both Watchman brothers, they know now what is the highs and the lows of the sport for sure, because they've been competing a lot in big shows. I mean, they're very young, but they're very mature. They're super talented riders. They have really good horses. I think they have a very good structure behind them. But we can't forget that they're really young, and when we get to this stage, the pressure, and I think they do incredibly well. So yeah, I mean, it's great to have them in the team. When we started, actually, I said to them, I think this year, looking at the team, I think we could think about a top 5 at the end. Obviously, we have to be a bit ambitious, but looking at it now, I think we should be capable for that. We have the horse and the rider power to keep delivering good performances.
Those are the thoughts of Duarte Abra, one of the teammates of Philippe Rosier, as we continue talking Saint-Tropez Pirates, hosts of this week's competition, winners of the previous stage in Cannes. Philippe, what kind of rider is Duarte Abra?
He's super riders, he's super guys. I have a chance, I have a good team. The team have many good horses. It's very important.
Talk to me about your horses today for round 1 at least. It's 2 young horses. One is 9, one is 12.
Yes.
What's it like today?
I ride Dirty Sweet for the first one, and normally I decide after the first one I ride one more Dirty, or maybe my second horse, Le Coultre. Maybe, I don't know for the moment.
To be successful in this team competition, the Global Champions League, a lot of horsepower is needed.
Yes.
Do you believe there is a lot of horsepower in Saint-Tropez to go many stages and be successful?
Yes. I think I have 2 very good horses for the Grand Prix, and Duarte have 2 very good horses. The family Watchman have many good horses. The young riders have many good horses. The system is fantastic. It's a very, very good organization. No, it's for me. I have a chance for the 5 best team for the final. Why not?
You mentioned the Watchmans. We heard Duarte mention Watchman as well. They're still very young men. As you said, you have 62 years now. You are experienced. You talk to the young men? You give them any advice?
Yes.
What do you say to the young Watchmans?
It's just my experience first to say, okay, guys, ready for the show, and sometimes sorry, I forfeit, sorry. Say no, not sorry. no, the sport is a sport, and I like ride for the young riders. I like. It's a big motivation for me.
Sure.
It's very important for me.
Duarte says maybe a top 5 finish for Saint-Tropez is realistic. You believe this?
Yes.
It's possible?
Never is impossible.
Never is impossible. Listen, thank you very much, Philippe, for coming to talk to us. Best of luck for the upcoming stages for Global Champions League, and maybe another big successful day for Saint-Tropez Pirates.
In France.
We will see. Maybe France is the magic touch. Philippe Rosier hoping for some magic again for the Saint-Tropez Pirates later on today. We'll wait and see. Can they make it 2 for 2? Wouldn't that be a great story? Speaking of Ramatuelle, speaking of Saint-Tropez, we often talk to you about the Global Champions League being your ticket to the world. That we give you the opportunity to travel with us to these incredible places. And many would argue that none look better than where we find ourselves here this weekend, once again in the French Riviera. Let's catch up with Rosie Turner for the first time in this wonderful area. Rosie, where do you find yourself right now?
Thank you, Mark. Welcome to the famous Papillon Beach. 3 miles of perfect white sand and crystal clear blue waters. It is sensational. It's also known that some of the biggest celebrities and influencers love to come here, not only to relax, but also to party, because it is home to some of the best beach clubs in the south of France. It really is the playground to the rich and famous, but this weekend, it is the playground to some of the top horse and rider combinations in the world. This beach is unforgettable, which I'm sure the competition this weekend will be too, Mark.
Oh, looking at that turquoise water, could I do with a little hop into Pamplona Beach? What a wonderful setting as we start to zone in on this incredible showground, getting ready for Global Champions League Stage 6 here in Ramatuelle, Saint-Tropez. The sun is beating down. It is a true European summer's day in the French Riviera, and it is going to be magical for the rest of the afternoon as we get through Global Champions League Round 1 and Global Champions League Round 2. Course walk is officially underway. We'll have all the details and get some reaction from the riders in a few moments' time. A quick pop in there with the Prague Lions, powered by the Czech equestrian team. Anna Kelnerova is jumping round 1. That is news. Peter de Vos and Niels Brownseals walking alongside her as well. We see Christian Allman crossing by. There goes the Rome Gladiators as well. We will join Rosie in the ring in a few moments' time and get some reaction there. Before we dive too deep into Saint-Tropez, let's take a moment to reflect on what took place in Cannes a week ago in the previous stage. stage. It'll bring us up to speed. Let's help summarize what took place in stage 5 in Cannes a week ago.
This is the sensational French Riviera. A very good evening. Welcome to leg 5 of the Longines Global Champions Tour. We are here in the City of Stars for the GCL Round 2. Fernando Martinez Sommer. Prague Lions has the one down. A late mistake for Fernando Martinez Sommer, and high five. He will have a time penalty, 0.28 per second out of the time. But now, Cannes Stars. Jan Fredrik Med Zimmerman, no, are not quite matching with a clear round. Time's okay. It's still first place for Cannes Stars. Mariano Martinez Bastida comes forward. Down to the penultimate. Oh no, it goes. Oh, the last as well. And the 8 penalty score that puts Saint-Tropez Pirates regardless into first position. Madrid in motion. Legend No takes the mid part and out part, so it's now 8. One more, Saint-Tropez Pirates will be the winner. The twists and turns have been outstanding.
We always believed that this could happen, but until the moment that actually happens, we don't, it has to happen for us to really believe, so it's a fantastic feeling. Thanks very much, everyone. We felt the support, we kind of neighbors, so yeah, it was very good, so we hope to keep the same results for next weekend in Saint-Tropez.
Well, we heard from the Saint-Tropez Pirates a little bit earlier on. Can they make it 2 for 2 back-to-back GCL stage wins? Wouldn't that make them all of a sudden a serious team to discuss as we enter the halfway point of the season coming up over the next few weeks? As it stands, Philippe Rosier, Edouard Sabre will jump for Saint-Tropez in this opening round. What is the impact of that Cannes stage on the overall rankings? We know that the Shanghai Swans were looking very happy, very comfortable at the top of the table. But all of a sudden, that lead has dwindled down now to just 2 points ahead of the Cannes Stars, powered by the Iron Dames. Valkenswaard United in 3rd place, but take a look at the jump from the Saint-Tropez Pirates, who now enter the top 4 chat. Prague Lions, powered by the Czech equestrian team, hovering in and around the GCL Super Cup semi-final places. New York Empire, previous winners here a few years ago, powered by Lugano, currently in 6th place. And Madrid in motion may feel as if they deserve to be a little bit higher than that 7th place on 77 points. Newcomers to the 2025 season, the Monaco Comets in 8th. And Mexico Amigos, powered by the H5 stables, currently find themselves in 9th. If you know the Global Champions League well, you will know that that still leaves some pretty big names on that second page. The fact that Razorback International, 2-time GCL winners, now find themselves in 10th place. The Stockholm Hearts, former championship contenders, down in 16. The Doha Falcons, once regarded as a really dangerous team in the GCL, down in 15th. So there has been a real tough start for some of the big names in the Global Champions League this season in 2025. But as we say, still a very long season, only stage 6 now. There is a lot of opportunity for these teams to make up some ground. Speaking of making up ground, can the Cannes Stars, powered by the Iron Dames, use this stage to regain their lead? They will have their sights firmly on the Shanghai Swans, knowing that any slip-up from the leading team and the defending 2024 champions will be looking to try and jump back into that front-runner's position. We took some time to catch up with the Cannes Stars. Rosie Turner sat down with the team.
Well, Cannes Stars, powered by Iron Dames, won here in Ramatuelle last year, and let's see if they can do it again this year. They're having a very consistent season once again. The team this weekend is Katrin Eshkeman, Natalie Dean and Anastasia Nielsen. Welcome all back to the winning place that was last year. Natalie, I want to talk to you first about how incredibly consistent this team is being once again this year. You're just 2 points behind Shanghai Swans. From your perspective, how has the season gone, and what have you been talking about behind the scenes?
Yeah, I think our team really prioritizes these shows, and I think Deborah does a great job of making us all work together, and I think we have done a good job so far of planning which horses and which riders go where, and but it's still a long season, and we're trying to reclaim our title.
Katrin as well, saying about the horses and riders, this weekend compared to Cannes last weekend is a totally new set of riders and horses. Do you think that's part of why you're so successful, because you've got such depth to the team.
Yeah, definitely. It's now the second season, and I think last year we started really strong. But this year I think we really can say that we all are ready to compete, and that's why we are a totally different team of last week.
Do you think the horsepower is different as well, Natalie, this year?
Yeah, I think everyone has a great string of horses, and I think we really tried to give the horses the proper rest in between shows, which not all the teams are as lucky as us to be able to do that. And I think we really, at the beginning of the year, we said we don't want the horses to have to go 2 weeks in a row if we can avoid it, and I think that's part of what the success is.
Anastasia, the under 25, this is your first time jumping for the team. And what's it been like being part of this team? How have they welcomed you?
Oh, they're all so lovely, like each single one of them. I actually joined the Iron Dames project last year already, so I've known them for over a year, and yeah, everyone's different, but everyone's so nice and supportive, really, really ambitious.
Yeah, and ambitious is the key word there. And actually, you are only 2 points behind Shanghai Swans, Natalie. How competitive do you think this year is going to be, looking at those teams, in terms of whether you're ending up on the top spot or not?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a big goal for all of us to win the Global Champions League again this year. We managed to do it last year, but it's a really competitive circuit, and I think the teams have very strong horses, strong riders, and we just take it week by week and try to put in the best results we can.
Katrin, are there any teams that you're looking at that are the biggest threat to the Cannes Stars powered by Iron Dames?
Yeah, I find the Shanghai Swans, they are really strong this year, and I think this is so exciting at our sport and the team classes that it's changed by 1 second.
I know you did win last year. Do you remember that moment winning last year, Katrin?
Yes.
What was it? Tell us a little bit.
No, it was actually, I have to say, a really nice victory. I mean, it's always nice, but it was just Kim and me. It felt really strong in the end.
Some thoughts of the Cannes Stars powered by the Iron Dames, having a sit-down with Rosie Turner, giving us some thoughts and reminding us that there was a championship lead that they were able to take over and win here in Cannes, or in Saint-Tropez 2024. And with the amount of victories that they had last year in 2024, it almost lost count as to where exactly they were victorious. Victorious in Doha, victorious in Riesenbeck, victorious in Saint-Tropez. Very, very easy to lose count as to how many times the Cannes Stars were winners last season. Hasn't been that kind of a start to the year for them, but they are still knocking on the door, and they do find themselves in second place, as we said, just a few points behind the Shanghai Swans, who are the new championship leaders. As we mentioned earlier on, the course walk is officially underway. We've sent Rosie out into the course to try and grab some riders for us to get some thoughts and some reaction as to how they feel that this opening round one will go. The course designer Gregory Bordeaux this week. What does he put together for GCL round one, GCL round two later on tonight? We might do well to try and get Gregory Bordeaux into the studio later. Maybe he can give us some thoughts, give us some reaction as to what we can expect later on tonight. Speaking of, let's go into the ring. Rosie Turner, who you got? Let's get some thoughts from the riders.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. These locations just seem to get better and better every single weekend. We are spoilt with them. If you just look through that archway, just a stone's throw away is Pampelon Beach, where I was a little earlier on, and it really is stunning. But as soon as you walk into this venue, everything is here for you. We've got so many shops, as you can see. This one in particular is very busy, lots of bright colours, and actually I bought my hat from there yesterday to make sure on this hot sunny day that we are covering. We've also got the official Global Champions store as well, where you can pick up some merchandise, a little memento from the day as well. But let's turn our attention to this fantastic restaurant over here, where there's lots of food and drinks being served as well. But more importantly, it's right right on the arena. This is a world-class view that all of these spectators are getting. They can have some food, they can have some drinks, and they can enjoy the action as well. The atmosphere is really building here already in Ramatuelle, Saint-Tropez. It's a fantastic location. As I said, we really are spoilt, Mark.
Doesn't that look magnificent there in that hospitality area, being able to sit down, have a drink in the shade, look on to the world's best show jumping here in the city of Ramatuelle, Saint-Tropez. Talk about a gorgeous setting to enjoy the Global Champions League. That spot right there, if I were Rosie, that's where I would spend the rest of the afternoon. Now, we mentioned the Shanghai Swans as the new championship leaders for 2025. And what a lineup they have. We talk about for a manager, which is Max Kuhner, to have the luxury of having himself in the team, to have Christian Almond, to have Daniel Deusser, to have Ben Meyer, plus all of the horsepower that those men bring to the table. There is very little surprise as to why the Shanghai Swans find themselves in that position. It took some time to catch up with Daniel Deusser, get his thoughts from the German as to how the season is going for the Shanghai Swans.
Daniel, it's been a phenomenal start for the Shanghai Swans this season. What have the team been discussing behind the scenes about it?
Or behind the scenes, of course, we are very, very happy. Of course, it's a very good start this time. It was not like that every year. But unfortunately, we are not even halfway through the season. So it's not important to lead now. It's important to lead at the end of the season. We have a very, very good team. But we have to be realistic. The other teams are also very strong. And yeah, I think it has a little bit to do with luck and also a little bit to do with a very good management for the next couple of shows. You always have 3 riders at the shows, only 2 count. You have to be a little bit lucky to always make the right 2 count.
It is such a contrast to last year, though. I think if we look at last year, you were on the podium twice. This year, in 5 shows, you've been on the podium 3 times. What do you think that is? Why has that suddenly been such a turnaround?
Okay, turnaround, yeah, result-wise, it's definitely better than last year. Last year, on paper, we also had a very, very good team. More or less the same riders, same horse-rider combinations as well. Yeah, we were just unlucky last year. If both of the riders have one unlucky fall, you have already 8 points. That can bring you 10 places back sometimes. What's different? I don't think so much is different. Maybe we made a little bit a better plan. We choose the right combinations at all the competitions so far. And that's why we had more podium finishes.
Can Stars powered by Iron Dames are hot on your tail, though. They're just 2 points behind. Is that something that you as a team and the management as well are looking at? Or is it, stage by stage for you?
Yeah, to be honest, or at least myself, I'm not looking at all who is behind us. Like I said before, it's just important to concentrate on our own results. We are not even halfway through the season. We just have to continue the way how we started, and then it's going to be difficult to beat us at the end of the season.
Have the team looked at a plan for the whole season? How far in advance do you plan this? And is it very much based on which horse and rider might suit each arena?
We definitely have a small plan until the end of the season. But yeah, I'm 100% sure the plan doesn't stay like that. You always have to see how fit are the horses, how do the horses feel after the competitions when they come home. If it's maybe better to stay another week or 2 at home with them, change the combinations, maybe even change another rider to one or the other show. We really have to see a little bit from, I would say week to week.
Lastly, for this weekend here in Ramatuelle, what is the plan? Who's here? Do you have faith that this weekend could be another good one?
I think so. Myself, Max Kuhner and Christian Ahlmann are here. We didn't really discuss yet who's going to ride tomorrow. We will do that in a minute, and then, hopefully we have good results again tomorrow.
Good luck.
Thank you.
The thoughts of Daniel Deusser for the Shanghai Swans. Now, I can give the update as to what is happening with the Shanghai Swans. Daniel Deusser and Gangster will be first out for the team. And Max Kuhner, EIC up to Jacko Blue, will be coming out. Those are the selections made for the Shanghai Swans in round 1. I remind you of the depth that they have. I remind you of the firepower that they have. Can they add to that firepower? How, you might be asking? Well, I remind you of a rule that is designed in the Global Champions League that we refer to as a mid mid-season transfer. Now, as that quite sounds rather obvious, this is what the case is. In the middle of the season, team managers have the opportunity to make some changes to their lineup. They can swap out certain riders. They can acquire new riders to their team. And that's what makes the second half of the season so incredibly exciting. I'll give you some timelines. Those new squads are going to be announced sometime after the Monaco stage. If you're unsure as to where the season now goes, from here we go to Paris, then to Monaco, then there is a break until London. Somewhere between that, we are going to unveil to you what the new season transfers look like, which means technically, come that London stage, it'll be the first time that we get to see the new mid-season transfers perform for their new GCL squads. Maybe an opportunity for us to start asking some questions to some of the teams. Who has done some shopping? Who is looking at who? Mid-season transfer is a fascinating part of the Global Champions League and a wonderful dynamic that can shake things up quite nicely for that second half of the season. Let's get some more thoughts, this time from New York Empire. Spencer Smith standing by with Rosie Turner.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. Alongside me now is Spencer Smith from New York Empire. And actually, Spencer, this is the first time we're seeing you this season. Good to be back.
Yeah, great to be back. Always a great show here in Tropez. We've had some success here at New York Empire, so hopefully repeat it this year.
Well, you won this back in 2023, you and Scott as well in the team again. Faith again for this weekend?
Yeah, absolutely. Scott and I have been teammates for many years now, and we have good horses here. Great support from at home, from Georgina Bloomberg and the whole crew. So yeah, hopefully have a good week.
Well, let's walk a line in this course, because you said to me actually it doesn't look too tough today. What are your initial thoughts?
Yeah, I don't think it's too tough. I think it's fairly built. You know, he did a good job. Gregory Baudot is a super course designer. But in this ring, these jumps are very airy and they come down a lot very easily. So I think that it'll be tougher than it walks.
Okay, let's walk this line then. This is from the double of verticals. Just talk us through it.
Yeah, double vertical is going to put the horse back on the hind end here, slow things down, and then you have to build up again through this turn here. This will come up quite quick to this oxer. And I think it's a stout enough oxer out of the turn, short turn. The horses won't see it to the last minute here. So you'll kind of be right around this tree here. And then you want to catch that first distance onto this oxer. And if you don't, yeah, it's not ideal.
It's a very bright fence as well. As you said, you come around this corner. It feels like quite a tight corner as well.
Yeah, it should be tight. I think if you're going in the pace that is set, you need to be right around that corner. And I think you'll see a lot of the top riders will do that quite easily, but it's not super easy.
Is there anything challenging about this ring? Obviously, every weekend the arenas are slightly different. To me, this seems a longer and narrower ring.
Yeah, it's long, narrow, but I have to say everything comes up right out of the turn. I always find it does. So I like the ring a lot. I think the dimensions are good. It's not too small, but it's definitely more of a smaller indoor type feel to it.
Spencer, thank you so much. We wish you the best of luck. We'll let you go and carry on walking the course. Lots of the teams having a few thoughts on this course, but as Spencer said, it might not be as technical, but it is round one. Lots of these jumps are going to come up very quickly in a much smaller arena like this one, Mark.
Former champions here in Ramatuelle, Tropez, so New York Empire looking to dial back and roll back those years and once again be victorious here in this wonderful city. Can it be the situation? Spencer Smith and Scott Brash looking to relive those memories of 2023. Now, there are many things that make show jumping a fantastic sport to watch. Perhaps to someone who is a new first timer, they might be quite surprised that men and women are competing together in an international sport at the same time. That makes show jumping incredibly unique. The other thing that makes show jumping incredibly unique is the fact that there is no age limitation whatsoever. Where in the world will you find a sport where an 18-year-old can compete against a 65-year-old? One of the many, many truly unique dynamics in the world is show jumping. And that is kind of actually exactly where we find ourselves in today's competition, because rather interestingly, what you might be able to call the crossover gen age power gap here between these two riders, John Whittaker, I dare not mention his age, all of a sudden is competing in and alongside Jelle Kass. The two are at polar opposites of the life spectrum. We took some time to catch up with the two riders to get their thoughts on what it feels like to be competing in a sport like this in the times that they find themselves in their lives.
John and Jelle. John, I said to you earlier, have you any idea what we're talking about? And you said, I think I have a clue.
Yeah, well, there's not many sports where you can get a 16, 17-year-old jumping against a 69-year-old, or together even in the same team. So it's a bit unusual sport that way.
It's very unique. Yali, how much have you looked up to John throughout your career? I was about to say throughout your career, you're still very young, but yeah, you are looking up to him. How amazing is it to be a part of a team with John in it?
Yeah, I'm very lucky and privileged to be with him in the same team and to learn from him, and to me it feels like an amazing experience.
John, do you take on that role of teaching? Obviously, you've brought up a whole family of riders. When you see a young rider like Yali coming through, is that something you think about?
To be honest, I don't really think about it, but I do know a lot of people look up to me, which is really nice, you know. Well, most people look down to me, actually. but yeah, it's nice that I'm kind of looked up to, yeah.
As the youngest rider in the team and this entire weekend, in fact, Yali, just let us know, how old are you?
I'm 16.
16 years old. That is extraordinary to be on this team. How much do you think the Global Champions League is going to put you on the map?
Yeah, I think it's gonna make me bigger, and it's gonna make me grow to the big sport and get a lot of experience.
What is it like to be in a team like this that has that wealth of experience that they can give to you?
It helps me a lot. I feel more confident because I can learn from them, and that way I feel much better when I go to the arena.
John, you said you don't in terms think about it, but is there any advice that you would give a young rider like Yali coming into this sport?
Yeah, I think just watch everybody, not just his teammates, but just watch the good riders, and you're picking up. It's a sport that you never stop learning. Yeah. And also figuring them out, figure how they tick, how they think, because they obviously can't speak. Yeah. So you have to figure out what's wrong or what's right. So I mean, even now I'm still watching everybody and trying to pick up little things, along the way.
What do you take from other people? Is there something in particular that you look for if something's not gone quite right with your round?
Basically, I watch the ones that win. I think, how did he do it? That's the main thing I do. But, people like the top riders, the natural ones that just do things naturally without thinking about it, can give you a lot of examples. But try and watch those guys and and how they turn, how fast they can go to a fence and how they do it, and the position. You never stop learning.
Think about the opportunity here for Yali Kuss at 16 years of age to not just ride alongside someone like John Whittaker on a daily basis, but what he can learn from being on a stage like this, to watch Max Kuhner ride, to watch Daniel Deusser ride, to watch Edwina Tops-Alexander ride, to watch Christian Kukoc, Philipp Weishaupt ride, you name the rider. The wonderful piece of advice given to him there by John Whittaker is not just to focus on his team, which of course is loaded with talent, but is simply to soak it in and watch as many of the top riders as possible. To see Henrik von Ackermann get onto his horse, Simon de Lestre, etc., etc., etc. The opportunity that this is for Yali Kuss to experience this is simply remarkable. A crossover in the Rome Gladiators, having John Whittaker approaching his 70s and then to be performing and riding and training alongside a 16-year-old is quite remarkable. Let's take you through the start list and give you a better idea as to how the teams line up today. We remind you, for Global Champions League Round 1, that start list is completed, auto-generated by a computer. Monaco Comets, powered by the Iron Dames, will be first out the gate. In fact, Edwina Tops-Alexander on Corélie Desmiles will be the very first combination out. She'll be followed by Jean Sadran on Iova del Mazet, her ride. Paris Panthers, Saint-Tropez Pirates, a lot of attention on them this week after winning in Cannes a few days ago. They now play host to us. Falcons Wart United find themselves in 4th. All of a sudden, defending champions, Cannes Stars, powered by the Iron Dames, in 5th. Madrid Emotion, Basel Cosmopolitans, the Prague Lions, and Razorback International, powered by Horst Jim, will take us to the break. We will then have a short break, a small break for the arena to get some reconditioning. And then the Shanghai Swans, the championship leaders, will then be the first team out, followed by New York Empire. Keep an eye on the Stockholm Hearts, by the way, powered by H&M We Love Horses. They are under pressure They are in desperate need of championship points and will be hoping that maybe today things go their way. You'll have to wait and see how things go. An incredible setting, all taking place on a beautiful day here in the French Riviera. Stage 6 of the Global Champions League is ready to go. We hope that you are. GCL Stage 1 here in Saint-Tropez is next.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon. The warmest of welcomes to the Longines Global Champions Tour here in Ramatuelle, Saint-Tropez for leg 6 of the 2025 season. We had a brilliant week last week in Cannes. We stay in France for this week and for next week as well. We'll head up to Paris. But what a location. This is an extraordinary coastline. The Côte d'Azur is just alongside this main arena, and it is simply breathtaking. I've been fortunate to come here for the last 5-6 years, and the coastline is dazzling. The Sentier Littoral is the coastal path. There's snorkeling, there's diving. It's an absolute haven for marine wildlife lovers, but the focus this afternoon, it is the Longines Global Champions Tour. We welcome you two here in Ramatuelle Saint-Tropez. The GCL is our focus this afternoon. We come to leg 6 here, with the Shanghai Swans having won in Mexico City and then again at home in Shanghai. They were again very good in Madrid for leg 4. They were second in behind Valkenswaard United, and the course set up by this man, Gregory Bodo, the powerful French designer. He is assisted by Yann Royon and Eddie Castillon here. He's a mighty master at his art, and this is the quite breathtaking scene we welcome you to. That is Eduardo Pereira de Menezes, Mexico Amigos' star man, the Brazilian. Our crowd just taking stock of what they are likely to see, because the battle for the GCL has been intense this year. Saint-Tropez Pirates, a team very much on the rise. They had a third place in Madrid, but then breathtakingly good they were to win in Cannes. Duarte Abra, Mariano Martinez Bastida, and Ireland's young star Max Watchman. It's a stunning afternoon. Niels Brunsales takes in the scene. Michael Duffy, he trains Zoe Conter, marches out. Zoe was very well placed in 7th place in the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix in Cannes last week. And a very good afternoon as we settle down for this GCL Round 1 and take you down through the start list. It is a batch of 14 individuals to come prior to the GCL Round 1 starting itself, and Gilles Paillard is number 8. The brilliant Fringan de Vescary, a new ride for him, but a very exciting one. And Laura Krautz, that is a very good horse. Très bien Z for Laura. Kevin Stote, Wiederlocker Z, that is again an excellent horse for Kevin. And Hassan Senturk jumped a great clear round last week in GCL Round 1 in Cannes with that horse Avant Toi. These then are the team combinations. Valkenswaard United fielding Hans-Dieter Dreyer, Vesma de Cotti, and Jotas got a new horse for him, Qualista DN to the GCL. Victor Bedendorf lines up along Eduardo side, Eduardo Alvarez Asnar for Madrid in Motion. And Basel Cosmopolitans have Jana Vargas and Michael Duffy. There's the Vice World Champion, Jérôme Guéry, and he is going to be alongside Julien Coutin for the Doha Falcons. And Stockholm Hearts, who won the GCL Super Cup in Riyadh last year, they are team number 14, Jane Richard and Olivia Philipparts. And Rome Gladiators have got the real feature this afternoon of having John Whittaker, the oldest on the tour. John will be 70 in August, and alongside the very impressive young Roy van Beek, that is number 17. Adrian Tops Alexander surveys the scene. And young and old here, it is a really enjoyable atmosphere. Of course it is. This is, as I say, a seaside paradise. As we welcome you to the GCL Round 1 here in Ramatuelle Saint-Tropez for leg 6. course, set by Gregory Bodo is going to be fascinating. The track's length is 460 meters, and 74 seconds is the time allowed. Certainly plenty of jumping out there. The course max height is 1.55 meter around the beautiful main arena here in Ramatuelle. It's quite a sharp coastline, actually. It drops down from the hills into an incredible seaside paradise. Andreas Sko tucks into his lunch alongside Jana Vargas for the Barcelona Cosmopolitans. Well, a very good afternoon to you. The time allowed is 74 seconds for the first round of this GCL. Round 1 gets underway. Of course, substitutions are permissible into round 2. You could have either horse or rider changes. We'll see which teams decide to remain with their roster from GCL round 1 and which will bring the changes into round 2 as a battle for the GCL season standings intensifies. But the first riders we see, they are the individuals, so not part of the GCL itself. This is a competition against the clock, and the prize purse, €56,800 it is this afternoon. And our trailblazer, France's Ines Joly, will get us into action. She is part of Deborah Meyer's brand new all-lady team, Monaco Comets. And she did start them actually in Cannes for her first GCL start of the brand new season. Ines, number 156, she is 27 years of age. And this is her brand new ride this season. Crack Grised will show us the way around the course. That is 147 tall, 145 its width, the purple-pink oxer. They will then right-handed into this first of the 3 double combinations. 2 strides in down through the Longines double, 148, 150 in, 152 exiting. The Leonor Porsches, that is their big fence awaiting. Vertical at 4, 152 tall. Now 6 strides between the Lugano Diamonds Oxer down to the Prague playoffs. Fence comes up very smartly. Ines had a tough enough week with this sort, to be brutally honest, in Cannes, so this is a welcome return to their normal, if recent, form, because as I say, only started this year. Ines had that stunning win last year. Ambassador Z claimed her maiden Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix crown in Monaco. That also has left her stable, hence the need for some new artillery. The top level has gone out to Samuel Hutton in the USA, got out to sides team. But this is a much better round. Delighted for Ines Joly after some, as I say, straining Cannes. It will be one-time penalty. 0.81 over the time, but a very much improved jumping performance. It is clear for Crack Grised, our trailblazer, in GCL round 1. Just one time for Ines Joly for France. This slender arena at right angles to the coastline, it's a quite mighty spot, and this man, what a quick ascendancy he's enjoying, because he's only 16 years of age and his win rate internationally has been impressive. Grinding through my research over the last few days, he's got a great record, and 16, he is the U25 world number 136, and this is his very first Longines Global Champions Tour show and 5-star debut. Jali Kass, we welcome. This is Lunavant Reutershoff on the course for Jali. Now this horse who won the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix of Mexico City last year. Long-time partner of Nicola Philippants. Now Jali Kass runs deep into the base of the line of Porsches, but he gets it okay. This horse is certainly very much up in his hand, looking fairly strong and motivated. Well, his international debut was in March of 2022, and his first international win was not long after, in mid-May that same year. It was a 1-star win with Argentina at Centaur Park. His 4-star debut was about a year ago in April 2024 in Arezzo, and he won a meter 30 class there as well with Imagination. Jali Kass comes powering down to the big Lamborghini Oxer, and he's not slow either. third double combination through the GC double, but the Oxalibi, I'm afraid, is the one down. But I must say, at 16, that is a very good baptism here in the Longines Global Champions Tour of Ramatuelle Saint-Tropez. Just the fence 2 from home, back out of the GC combination. The Oxa leaving. There's a lane 4 for Lunavanto Reutersov, but don't also forget they've been a combination just since early April this year. They won the meter 40 class in Oliver in Spain, and the last outing was a stunning 154-star debut. Second at Saint-Tropez. Gassin just down the coastline. Late mistake for Yali Kass, but he impresses on his debut here on the Longines Global Champions Tour. That's the pain, that is his determination in the Halite Air jacket. The new starter, Laurent Guillet, on the right of the picture, Nicolas Delmotte, very good friend of Megan Moussonnier, watching on, and 27 years of age, is a very good rider for the French. She was in Cannes last week with us, and this pair were very good in this equivalent class a week ago because they were 4th. This is the very smart but young 9-year-old Kudeker de Muse on course. This is the son of Rosita van Het Hellerhoff, cross to the legendary dam side Jalisco B. Now Megan from Lens, which is up near Bourg-en-Bresse, about a 1-hour drive from Lyon. Pretty much far side from where we're on the east side of France, not too far from the Swiss border. Now this horse, quite economical over the fences down through the double. The head horses at 8A and B, they're not giving a lot of vertical clearance, but you'll find some very good horses will not necessarily look flamboyant. They just do enough. That is something we've seen, and a horse that springs to mind of that vein. Peter Fredriksen's wonderful H&M all in, not giving huge air clearance to the fences. Allen at his very best. So that's a very exciting horse for Megan Moussonnier. She comes home, and it is the opening clear round of the GCL round 1 here. And just a 9-year-old, that is impressive. The one number 141 post opening clear of the individual badge here in GCL round 1. There is an individual class that runs alongside the team competition. So these 14 riders compete against the team riders in an individual battle as well. As of course then our focus will turn to the GCL round 1 after these initial batch of 14. Laurent Guillet, Nicolas Delmotte, happy enough with the very good form of Megan Moussonnier. The new starter sets off at a cracking pace. This is Tiara Bleicher to no avail. The purple-pink Oxa goes. Some real youngsters at the start of GCL round 1 this afternoon because she is only 20. This pair at partnership since July of last year. Former long-term partner of Italy's Riccardo Pisani. And their 5-star debut week was on the Doha Tour. That was week 3 back in January this year. And Frey clatters through the Prague Playoffs vertical. At later distance. Tiara was in Shanghai. She had a very good debut. She did not qualify for the Grand Prix, retired in GCL round 2. But she had a good 14th place in the Baojun 2-phase competition behind the Avril on Saturday afternoon. She's from Munich in the south of Germany and trains with Simon Widman. And she was a former individual gold medal winner in the Youth European Champs, the Children and Horses Europeans of 2019. Tiara, I'm afraid, takes the top of the final fence as well. The premium Liverpool, that is the third error for Oliver van ter Heijke, but again her second Longines Global Champions Tour start only. And with this horse, a 5-star debutant this year back in January, so it's a big order for them this afternoon. And the young German comes home with 3 down, 12 penalties. The next to start is the Iceman from Germany. He is in brilliant form. Just 2 weeks ago, he won his third 1m60 Longines Grand Prix of Hamburg with Dorken Hero Z. He'd won there in 2013 with Codex 1 and in 2022 with Dominator 2000 Z. And 8 wins. Christian has enjoyed Grand Prix wins on the Longines Global Champions Tour. It's been a phenomenal run that started back in 2011 in Estoril. And then Paris in 2023, Mandato van der Neerheide. Now this is a very exciting Vivario JLZ on course, the son of Vigor Soy for Christian. This horse was in Cannes, was 7th in the meter 45 class, competition against the clock. This is only their second Longines Global Champions Tour show, and they are a brand new pair. Together since just the start of May, so just over a month their competitive partnership. Christian is quick here. He's got a couple of very good new horses. This one untouched. LB also in Cannes, and Dorken Hero Z, who won in Hamburg. Not new, but certainly at the sharpest of levels. Christian looking now to find new horses to back up the likes of Talibé Z and Mandato, his great veterans. He's in confident mood. That is the writing on the wall here as he runs down to the final fence with an immaculate round that he has assembled. 65.44. Christian Alman powers home. That is the quickest time of GCL round 1's individual group. We have jumped 5. And the former world number 1, he was world number 1 in 2012, December that year, goes into first place.
Represented France at every level, and queuing up to be an Olympic team donor.
The location is quite breathtaking, and this lady's career has been equally so, because France's Penelope Le Prévost comes forward. Penelope is now 44 years of age and the world number 111. She has been a female pillar of the French team, the national team since 2010. In Lexington was her maiden championship cap. She has ridden at 10 championships, be they European, World or Olympic. And she won the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix in Antwerp in 2016 with Florida Mariposa. That was not her first Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix, because she won in Vienna with the legendary Milo Carthago back in September 2012. Penelope was the French national champion at Fontainebleau 3 years ago in 2022 at Texas. And she hails from Lisieux in the Pays d'Orge region, Calvados in France, up the north of us. Now this is Bingo del Tondu on the course. This pair 5th in the 4-star Grand Prix in Bourg-en-Bresse mid-May this year. The last out was at Pielbergen in the Netherlands, again for a very good 4th place in a 3-star Grand Prix. I think she's one of the best horsewomen I've ever seen. She is so natural and effective. In fact, forget the woman or male, just one of the best riders I've ever seen. Her naturalness is consummate. You always get a feeling of a true partnership. A little bit akin to Luciano Diniz, the great Portuguese rider, in style and pure empathy and relationship with her horses. Bernard Bingo del Tondu, I'm afraid, takes the GCL Oxer out of the last double. Good effort it was, but tonight a clear round on the course of Gregory Bodo. The second last fence is the one down late mistake for Penelope Le Prévost and Bingo del Tondu. That horse, former long-term partner of the legend, is Michel Robert. Michel still competing, same vintage as John Whittaker, and he took the double silver at the World Games in The Hague back in 1994. That's behind Francis Slutak, the individual silver medal. That the mistake late for Bingo del Tondu and France's superb Penelope Le Prévost. It was a youthful start for GCL, but a couple of great veterans coming back to back, and this man, 50 years of age, Luis Felipe Cortizo Gonzalez Azevedo Filho, is on the course. He's part of Paris Panthers' outfit, and this is his brand new ride. Chanel Bleu is on the course. Conthagos crossed to Chaco Bleu. This formerly actually with his pupil Guido Grimaldi. This is their very first competition together and their naturally first Longines Global Champions Tour start, therefore. And this actually is a debutant at 1m55 level this afternoon. Luis had that brilliant second place with us in Mexico City last year. That was in the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix with his great grey Sierra du Pidre Z. And behind Nicolas Philipparts. Now, this is a very good 155 debut for Channel Bleu, jumping a peach around here. It's got a very nice disposition, this horse. Now the full penalty comes up. Just a little bit lackluster into that GC double, was a little bit flat-footed, I thought, and losing momentum around that corner. But the horse is a debutant, it's not easy. Luis was looking down as though he thinks maybe something's untoward, I'm not quite sure, but it's their debut at the level in any case, and that will be very good experience for the pair for Brazil. Brand new pair. I'm not sure whether it is his new ride or whether he's just running it for a spell for Guido Grimaldi. But these are the current standings. Just 2 clears we have jumped. Now the opening 7 combinations. Christian Alman has set a very competitive time. He leads by second of the other clear round. Megan Moussonnier, the great German, is out in front. The next to come, we welcome the world number 12, Julien Paillard, is at the start. This is his 3rd start on the Longines Global Champions Tour this year. He was in Madrid and in Cannes last week. And that was his good finish in the Grand Prix. Donatello Dorge in 11th place behind Harry Smulders. And Monaco, they won their first ever Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix. The Dutch, superb combination. Now the Flying Frenchman aboard Fringand de Vesquerie, brand new ride since just late May, and their 4th competitive week only. And this their 2nd Longines Global Champions Tour start after Cannes. And they were good in the Prix de Département Alpes-Maritimes behind Manuel Gaudiano and Vasco. That was 4th. Julien won the Longines Global Champions Tour Super Grand Prix in Prague with the equally brilliant Dubai du Cèdre 2023 to beat Henrik von Eckermann and King Edward that afternoon. This pair, I think, a little bit too raw to really go for broke, but Julien is naturally quick. Fringand de Vesquerie down to the final fence to put the heat on Christian Alman. 63.86. It's amazing what this man can do. It's a new partnership, but still, he goes ahead of Christian Alman. And to be fair, looked to be just cantering, but this man is a speed demon. He just retains a quick tempo, doesn't look sort of lightning fast to the eye there. And a little cock ahead as if to say, yep, I've got it, I'm very, very quick. Out in front goes Julien Paillard and his new ride, Fringand de Vesquerie. The new starter from Atlanta in Georgia initially, and the highest lady on the world rankings, at number 23 in the world. 59 years of age this time. Laura Kraut, we welcome. Laura will turn 60 in mid-November later this year, and Nick Skelton, long-term partner. What a team they are. Watches on. And Très Bien Z jumping for fun here. There's the former long-term partner of Tim Gredley, a one-year partnership. It is this horse's first Longines Global Champions Tour start in his career, and his last 5 starting was at Royal Windsor. Very good they were. Second in the Pearl Stakes. Now Laura finds a devilishly deep spot into that oxer. I'm afraid fence number 9 is the American Nemesis. Second in the Pearl Stakes at Windsor, and then 8th in the King's Cup behind Martin Fuchs and Commissar Petsy. But what was a very promising round, I'm afraid, has a mistake about 3/4 of the way around the course, and in the late double as well. It's the second blemish for Laura Kraut, and Tropez Z, highest lady in the world rankings, has a couple down. Shame for them. They look very polished early, just chasing the time of Jeanette Paillard. He's put pressure on them and running very deep into the base of 9 was the opening blemish. This was the moment, just a miscommunication on the stride, and the first of the 2 errors for the brilliant American. This lady is becoming very good. I've been watching her progress this season, and it's simply been upward. Very fluent, very stylish, very elegant is the overall impression. Belgium's Zoe Conter getting started, and she secured her best Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix finish so far in her career. That was last week with us in Cannes. H5 Jacques in 7th place, with the last fence falling in the jump-off in an otherwise very good performance. Now this horse, Louis Hélène, was her ride. GCL round 1 in Madrid. And she actually jumped the sole GCL clear from Extra Amigos that afternoon. And an individual this afternoon, and Louis Hélène gets away well. This horse, former long-term partner of Daniel Deusser, produced by Daniel for the Stefak stable, and father Stefan Conter. A year together with Zoe. It's their second Longines Global Champions Tour start, but I'm afraid at the back of that gold-red ox. Not easy there because it's away from the in-gate. You could just see the Klexing ring where the horses and riders are preparing their rounds. So there's a little bit of a suck-back effect there. You can just easily lose momentum. That's a likely analysis. So Conter down to the final fence here with Louis Hélène, and it's a good round. Just that one mistake for them, and the strong Belgian. She is 26 years of age. We're going to 7th place as we stand, with the one mistake at fence number 7, and an otherwise polished round for Zoe Conter. The red ribbon in the tail just to signal warning out in the collecting ring that maybe Louis Hélène could throw a hind leg. Just give him a little bit of distance would be the purpose of a red ribbon in the horse's tail. The new starter, the one number 9, gets away, and Kevin Stokes is on the track. Kevin, who won the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix with us in Paris with Savannah HDC, or HDC as they say in France. That was 2014. 2 years prior, won again the Grand Prix in Monte Carlo with Revers de Herpes, HDC. And Kevin won number 1 in 2010. Now this is Vidal Z on course. He's produced this horse from scratch himself since June of 2022. But they take the Pride Plows vertical, I'm afraid. So this course, it all fairly straightforward, but Gregory Bodo's ever's got a few tricks up his sleeve, the French mastermind. Catching up this great man. This pair in early May, they won the 4-star Grand Prix in Conteleur. Big Grand Prix here in France. And then their last outing was actually this year in Cabourg, coming into Ramatuelle Saint-Tropez, and they won 2 4-star classes there, including the Grand Prix. But yeah, it's going to be 3 fences down, I'm afraid. It is 12 penalties for Kevin Stokes. And disappointments, same score as Penelope Le Provost, so 2 great gladiators, of the French team over years gone by, and still, of course, currently struggling out on the GCL round 1 here on home sand in Ramatuelle Saint-Tropez. That is Vidal Z home for Kevin Stokes, and given their recent pair of wins in Cabourg, that's a jot surprising. I loved watching this man last week. It was my first time that I've seen Hasan Şentürk in the saddle, and I was mighty impressed with the Turk. He rides for the Istanbul Warriors. Nefes Yahi, his good friend, the manager and owner of Istanbul Warriors, but in individual this afternoon, this is the same horse that jumped a very good GCL round 1 clear for the Istanbul Warriors in Cannes for 12th place. It was their final placing. Ramatuelle is on the course. They did not qualify for the Grand Prix, sadly, but Hasan did have 3 top 10 finishes in Cannes. Now, Ramatuelle was very good in the Prix du Département d'Alpes-Maritimes in Cannes on Saturday. That was 6th place, best finish of the week for Hasan Şentürk, and they come down to the horses, heads double. One stride comes up crisply between the two verticals. 152 in height apiece there, and this is a big stride. That's a very nice run down into the rated distance between 9 and 10. Multicoloured oxer into the Lamborghini oxer. It's quite skinny actually. 135 is the width of 10 only, to try and encourage you to turn a little bit tight into it and open up an angled inside line to 11A and B. This man's in great form on the Longines Global Champions Tour. Hasan Şentürk powers around 68.64 for him. He goes into 4th place with Ramatuelle in GCL round 1, with just 2 more individuals to come prior to the team riders starting. Will be a little break prior to the kick-off of our team competition. Little lucky rub out of the horses, heads doubles, but everything stayed intact. Beautiful artwork, the detail here on the course, the fence manufacture and design is really impressive. Another good round for Hasan Şentürk, gives Ramatuelle a kiss. The new starter for Belgium, Celine Schoenbrugh Azevedo, getting away. She is 40 years of age, and the number 179 gets on course. This is her first Longines Global Champions Tour start this year. Her husband Luis Felipe come a little bit earlier. They run Écurie Fap in Horijke in Belgium, not too far from Maastricht and the mighty Aachen. Now Celine, she's had a lot of Grand Prix wins. She won at Baston Sitio, a 3-star Grand Prix with Diesta Embrun March of last year. But this horse, Jakarta Equigène, she's 11 years of age, daughter of Lord Zeg Rossi Epilot out of the KWPN stud book. They paired together about 1 year, and their 5-star debut was only started this year in February in Sharjah in the United Arab Emirates, and this is their 5th 1m55 start only. Looks like a really good prospect, this one for Celine, as she thinks forward to this horse's future. I think is a big one. Really immaculate. They won a 150 class at Centaur Park last outing. But this is a very composed, precise round, and a great shot that Celine Schoenbrugh Azevedo finds down to the final fence. That was very strong. Looks like a really good partnership already. Beautiful mare comes home with a stunning clear for Celine Schoenbrugh Azevedo. That is Jakarta Equigène, number 13, with a stunning round. I loved the partnership. The rhythm was unfaltering. Every takeoff point found precisely from this lady, as we saw in true effect down to the final fence. Very, very good round completed. The new starter for Charlotte Leoni. She is from Aix-en-Provence, that is about 130 kilometers west of us here in Ramatuelle. Aix-en-Provence due north of Marseille, her very nice base. And Charlotte, she won the 2-star Grand Prix, the Lugano Diamonds Prize here in 2023. That was a Diaconia du Ventel. She's been on Nations Cup duty for the national team. She was in Mannheim early May, had a team bronze there with Miss Marie van ter Vinnerhoff. And it's a Cyclone Le Pivot en course. This horse initially with her husband Philippe joined Charlotte in July of last year. And their 5-star debut was in late March this season in Paris. Typical Charlotte horse, she likes a big rangy animal. And Cyclone Le Pivot purring mid-course here. Great turn, she jinks back to this big red, white, gold oxer on the far side to then have a level distance down. It's quite a holding short 5 down there to the combination. Cyclone Le Pivot, though, is again in a similar vein to Celine Schoenbrod de Azevedo. It's very committed, rhythmical. Charlotte just holds into this late combination. Ideally, you want to hold the power and momentum to allow when you jump into a combination just to be able to hold with your hand and press with your seat to jump the fence out. If you land with a lack of momentum, then you've got to push for a distance where you could have a mistake. Super round for Charlotte Leoni. She comes home with a very impressive clear round. 70.01 was the French time. And a very smart round completed for the last individual rider this afternoon in GCL round 1. Leg 6 here in Ramatuelle Saint-Tropez on the Longines Global Champions Tour. This is our 7th edition here. We started at this stunning venue back in 2018. That was the inaugural edition. So these are the current standings. It's a new partnership, but the rod number 13 is again devilishly good. Whatever he is sat on, Juliette Paillard, Fringand de Vescary lead the way 63.86. It's a second and a half clear of Germany's Christian Allmann with his new ride Vivario JLZ. And, well, yeah, the French will look for improvement because Kevin Stote's having a few down. And actually, I said earlier it was 12 for Penelope. Well, it was not. It was the one down. Apologies for that. But this is the scene whilst we now take a moment to prepare the course. The tractors whistle into action to ensure the footing is absolutely perfect for GCL round 1 for leg 6. The Longines Global Champions Tour here in Ramatuelle Saint-Tropez. It's a warm afternoon and everybody taking stock of what we have faced as a course so far and what the teams are likely to do this afternoon, because the battle has been so intense after the first 5 legs that we wrapped up last week in Cannes, that is due east of our base here in Ramatuelle Saint-Tropez on the Côte d'Azur. We take a short break, ladies and gentlemen, from the quite remarkable Côte d'Azur. Do not go far, because GCL round 1 from leg 6 is coming straight up for you here from this beautiful show. We'll see you soon from the south of France. Delighted to welcome you to leg 6 of the Longines Global Champions Tour. We are in the south of France. This is Ramatuelle Saint-Tropez. It is a simple paradise. We are just 100 meters or so from the beach here. You go westwards and you come to Marseille. You travel to our east. You go back towards Nice and Cannes, where we were for leg 5 last week. This stunning coastline, it is a sea lover's paradise. Snorkeling, diving, hiking, relaxing with your family, it is all on offer here, and it's a beautiful afternoon. Thursday, 25 degrees. There's not a chance of any cloud in the sky. It is simply perfect. And our horse is having a wonderful time here as well, because every facility here is catered for. It is a true equine paradise, and a very good afternoon. Welcome to GCL round 1, leg 6 here in Ramatuelle Saint-Tropez. 5 legs have all been fascinating. Shanghai Swans, the only team to have won twice. They won in Mexico City and then at home in Shanghai. Last year, it was the Cannes Stars who went on to the brilliant season championship. They were a new team last year, and here's the confirmation. No teams won actually here twice in the former 6 editions. New York Empire 2023, Prague Lions 2022, Valkenswaard United 2021, Madrid Emotion won the 2nd edition in 2019, and the inaugural win went to that team I've just mentioned, Shanghai Swans, back some 7 years ago in 2018. Confirmation because of the pair of victories. Shanghai Swans, they were also 2nd in Madrid, leg 4. They are our leaders. They lead by Swans. They were also 2nd in Madrid, leg 4. They are our leaders. They lead by a slender margin, just 2 points. Ahead of Cannes Stars, the champions here last year, and Cannes Stars who won the opening leg this year in Doha back in late February. The battle is on. The likes of Saint-Tropez Paris having won last leg in Cannes. They're on the upward move, and they were 3rd in Madrid. Valkenswaard United, they were very, very good to win in Madrid. We now take you around the course of Gregory Baudot and his team. This is a 1m55 track, and lovely serpentine figures it weaves across the southern French sand. The distance of the course is 460 meters, and this is the opening fence. It is the Global Champions vertical, 1m47. It's a big right-handed, very open line. It's a long gallop in effect. Down to fence number 2 on purple pink oxer, awaits 147, cross to 145 the width. This will come up quickly, the first of the 3 doubles. It is the Longines combination 3A and 3B. 2 strides between the big oxer, 148 tall by 150 is its width. And 2 strides, 11 meters and 40 down to a very big vertical fence, 3B. The Longines exiting fence, 152 tall. They then swing left-handed on 7 strides, slightly open line to the Lion of Porsche, vertical 152 tall. That is fence number 4. This then will be a quick section back to the Lugano Oxer, 148 tall by 150 is its width. And then 6 strides down to the Prague Plels vertical, 155 tall max height. That is fence number 6. This is a long corner and an important line to get a good approach, because 7 is massive. It's away from the in-gate. That is the added difficulty because of its situation. And it's 150 square, then 5 short strides, actually holding distance down into second double, 8A and B, 152 apiece, those verticals on 1 stride. This is a sharp turn, you've got to get this right, it's very big, 150 square and 9 multicolored. It's a sharp left-hander, then back on 8 strides to the Lamborghini Oxer, 150, it's not wide, 135 only, to try and encourage a quick angle into it to then open up this line into this last line. 11A is very tall, 150, and then down to 11B, 8 meters and 1 it walks. So 1 stride to this very big oxer exiting, 150 square, GCL double 11A and B, and then the romp for home, 4 strides down this long line. The crowd flanked up right on the side of this important approach to the final fence. It is the Premier Liverpool, 155 tall at 12. So plenty to do, some interesting related distances, and all of the design of this man, France, is Gregory Baudot. Gregory's been designing here since 2021, and he knows the lay of the land. And he knows how to assemble a very, very big demanding course for certain. It walks fair, it walks straight forward. Yes, it's big, but it's causing enough difficulty this afternoon. We'll take you through the lineup for GCL round 1. Monaco Comets will start us into action between the Tropez Alexander and Jean Sadron, the seasoned Australian, alongside the young French rider. Paris Panthers, they've got work to do in the season. Clara Pezzoli alongside Guido Grimaldi, the same pair remain from Cannes. And Saint-Tropez Paris, the winners last leg, they bring 2 French senior statesmen, Gregory Cotin and Philippe Rosier. Valkenswaard United, Hans-Dieter Dreyer and Gilles Thomas. That looks a pair to watch. Vesma de Coty and a new horse for GCL, Qualista. Cannes Stars bring a new face into their squad. Anastasia Nielsen makes her debut this year alongside Katrin Ackermann, horse who won the King's Cup in Madrid, Chao Li. Madrid Emotion bring Victor Behrendorff into battle alongside Eduardo Alvarez Asnar. And Basque Cosmopolitans, I like this pair, Jana Vargas and Michael Duffy. They look ones to watch again this afternoon, the German and the Irish rider. Prague Lions, it's the first start this year for Anna Kelnerova, and she's alongside Peter de Vos, that pair with Dorina J. They won the Amsterdam Grand Prix this year. Christian Kukuk and Philip Weishaupt, 2 real fearsome men to come for Riesenbeck International, powered by horse Jim. And then comes New York Empire. It is Spencer Smith and Scott Brash, 1 for the USA and 1 for Great Britain. Scandinavian Vikings is Neil Fearon, was very good last week in Cannes. And Jan Sebastian Gullikson, he missed last leg. He'll start here this afternoon. Doha Falcons, well, very good men. They are Julien Coutin alongside Jérôme Guéry, France and Belgium. And Stockholm Hearts, Jane Richard alongside Olivia Philipparts, who won the GCL Super Cup last year in Riyadh at the playoffs. Mexico Amigos has Carlos Canquerado alongside Eduardo Pereira de Meneses, the Mexican and the Brazilian. 2 brilliant men for Istanbul Warriors. What a pair they are, Simon de Lestre and Henrik von Eckermann. And John Whittaker pairs Roy van Beek for Rome Gladiators. The last of the teams this afternoon here in GCL round 1. So some very interesting teams to keep our eyes firmly on as we go into leg 6 here in Ramatuelle Saint-Tropez on the beautiful Côte d'Azur here in the south of France. This is the scene, and a very good afternoon to you from myself, Ed Holloway. It's great to have your company. We've had some very, very close battles this season. The closest season finish was in Madrid, leg 4, 1.26 seconds. That was the separated Valkenswaard United and Shanghai Swans. So can Monaco Comets win their first leg this season, because they were 3rd in Doha, their very first start as a brand new team. That was brilliant. They were then 6th in Mexico City and 4th in Madrid at leg 4. Delighted to welcome Edwina Tropez-Alexander and Jean Sadron this afternoon. This is Edwina's stunning Coralie de Mise, the Spanish bred. Outstanding out-and-out jumper. Edwina was 9th on the Longines Global Champions Tour standings last year, and the double season champion on the Longines Global Champions Tour 2011 and 2012. Now, Coralie de Mise has jumped the legs in Mexico City, Shanghai and Cannes the first round, and then the plan for Edwina is fellow Castfield comes in for the second round at each of those 3 legs as well. Fellow Castfield, they'll jump both legs in Doha. Coralie de Mise down through the opening combination, the first of the 3 doubles, the Longines pair of fences, 3A and B. Now this is the all-important turn of this very big 150 square Lugano boxer. Fence 5 then down to the car playoffs vertical, meets in nicely. This horse is the veritable equine powerhouse. He's an absolute Rolls Royce of a jumper. He's had the odd fence down this season so far, but I think his talent is sky high, and Edwina, we are well aware. Clear round, looking assured here. 4 fence to go for the opening clear of GCL round 1. Coralie de Mise turns homebound. Time allowed 74 seconds. They've got 10 seconds just approaching the 3rd from home, but no. What a shame. It was a beautiful round they were composing. But the odds round of the GCL combination 11B is the thorn in the side, I'm afraid, of Edwina Thompson-Alexander this afternoon. It's another beautiful performance. The late mistake for Chloe Denise and Australia's Edwina Thompson-Alexander, who leads Monaco Comets. Deborah Myers, powerful new team powered by Iron Dames into battle. Leg 6 in Ramatuelle Saint-Tropez. This is the little error. Light as the brushes on the front leg of the front bar. The new starter, her father Olivier, the airline food magnate and former president of the Toulouse Football Club. Her mother Sophie and her sister Louise also compete internationally. Jeanne Sadron is on the course. Jeanne is 23 years of age. She is world number 64 and U25 world number 4. It's behind France's young star Nina Malové, Emily Conter and Carlos Hank Guerrero. Jeanne saddles Ivana Del Masse this afternoon. Bred in Spain, daughter of Indre Del Masse, across to Hervé Gourdignon's former top horse Quidam de Revel. Now this horse jumps the Longines Global Champions Tour in both Doha and Madrid, but this Ivana's first team start for Monaco Comets, not Jeanne's. She was third in Doha with the team, and also fourth in Madrid. This is a very good round that Jeanne Sadron is conjuring here. The rider who won the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix of Paris with Dexter Kerglen last year. What a brilliant win that was. Romson. And bearing in mind that is the horse's first team start for the GCL for Monaco Comets. That's a very good maiden run for Jeanne Sadron with Ivana Del Masse. They have a clear round. It does mean that Monaco Comets have a very good start, because looking back through the results, we had a 0 score that won in Mexico City with Shanghai Swans. But otherwise, it's been 4 penalties that has won. We had the 1 time for Doha in Doha for Cannes Stars, but only 1 0 score through the 4 rounds necessary, with the scores to count, the 2 apiece in GCL's round 1 and 2. Great start for Monaco Comets. They have a score of 4.
Taking the first stage of the panels today, it's going to be Clara Pezzoli, a veteran already of the editions of Shanghai and Cannes of the Global Champions League this year. Clara with Quarzo del Calcio.
The new starter, Francesca Tortiello, her coach in the front of your picture on the kiss and cry. Clara Pezzoli getting started. This is Quarzo